This week I lost my virginity. It might not be what you think. I lost my styrene building virginity. I got the Land Rover Defender, the RC4WD TrailFinder II, and I really want to give it a custom look. So not just in paint, but also in accessories, and I want to add some stuff using styrene. I did a lot of reading about styrene, and I was very intimidated by it at first, because there's not a lot of information out there, especially not on YouTube. So that's where I hope to come in and supply you with, well, at least what I know so far when it comes to styrene building. The glues that I find easy to use and that work well for me, as well as some of the basic tools that I have purchased. I didn't have anything at all when it comes to styrene building, so I needed to start from scratch. There's also a lot of people who completely start from scratch with a styrene build. They make the entire body out of styrene. That's a bit too challenging for now, so I will just be working on the add-ons and well, explain you what I did so far and what I will be up to later on. The car that I'm going to build is a Kahn Defender. That's K-A-H-N. And Kahn designs kind of like a beefed up Defender. I believe it's a British company, and the Defender that they have with the built out fenders, the built out hood, the different headlight surroundings, it has a bit more of an aggressive feeling to it. It almost looks like a security truck. It looks like something that would transport a sheikh or you know, something like that, something you would come across in Abu Dhabi, a really badass car. So that's what I want to build here. I love the look of that stock RC4WD TrailFinder body, but I want to give it a bit of a more muscular stance and a bit of a custom feel to it. So well, that's what I'm building here. Styrene is awesome stuff to work with. Again, I've never done this before, and I just purchased a whole lot of sheets and a few rods and a few square bits for me to get started. I got stuff varying in plates. I'm still really bad at muting that stuff, so you have to forgive me. I got some styrene plates, some styrene sheets varying in thickness from 0.25 millimeters all the way to 2 millimeters. The 2 millimeters I'm using that in the areas like I did over here in the hood, just to make sure it's strong enough, and then with those thinner bits, for example, I use those to connect one part to the other if I don't have a lot of room to do anything. If you want to cut styrene, it's fairly simple. If it's a straight line, you just put your ruler on the styrene, you score it with your blade, but I will show you that later on, and then you just snap it off. I also got, let me see where I got it, I got these Styrene Cutters. They got one flat edge and they got one 45-degree edge, so if you keep it to one side of your project, then that edge will always be square, and after that you just kind of sand it down, you trim it down a tiny bit. Well, you can tell over here I got some of my rulers, some stuff to draw circles. Got my body reamer over here, a few regular pliers just to make it a bit easier to snap off super tiny bits. And the thing with styrene is it's kind of like you're creating your own Lego kit. So you start off with a square sheet, and as you progress you will have chunks like these. You never throw anything away, even like the smaller stuff like this. Just make sure that you keep it, because who knows, somewhere down the road you might actually need a piece of this size or something smaller, and you can just cut or grind this down to use it. What I did is I built two fenders. Mind you, although it might seem like the car is completely symmetrical, an RC4WD drive shell, it's not. So what you want to do is you want to make a cardboard template first, fit that over the place. If it's like a complex shape, like over here, those wheel arches, fit it over the wheel arch, and make sure that afterwards, if you're satisfied with the shape that you have, or if you need to add something or whatever, afterwards you're going to cut your styrene. You're not going to cut your styrene first, because if you cut it too small, then you can just toss it away, or you need to fill it up with putty, which is a lot of work. That's like a bondo that I'll be using afterwards to make sure I can fully detail the body, get rid of all the scuff marks and whatnot. But over here you got, this is my first styrene project. These are my Kahn Defender fenders. That sounds really funny, and it kind of is, but I like the way these turned out. Both ends are completely the same. I use some Arches RC, these are for a Jeep Wrangler, rear light guards to put in over here as to mimic those vents that you would find on the sides of a Land Rover. So well, I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. I still need to glue them to the body. I also made some custom headlight covers. Made the main lens a tiny bit smaller, just to give it a bit more of an aggressive look, and I made this altered hood scoop. I bent this using my heat gun, and I bent it actually over the handle of this chisel, so I just heated up the styrene a tiny bit, gently pushed it down until it had the shape that I wanted it to have. After that I added on the sides over here, because it's a piece that's completely round. It's fairly complex, but anyway, me, a new beginner, this is what I could achieve with my limited amount of tools and my limited amount of skills so far. But I'm happy with it. I like the way it looks so far. Front fenders were, I think, the most difficult for the whole project, so I didn't want to show you anything until I actually knew that I was going to have some sort of success, or at least in my own book. So that's why what I'm showing you right now. And next for this project will be me making the rear fenders. There I will also show you how to make a cardboard template, how to fit it over the wheel arch, how to test fit everything before you start cutting your styrene, and also how to make your cuts, grind it off, sand it, and make sure it looks good afterwards. In addition to all this styrene, I bought a load of glue, because I wasn't really sure what to use. This is Humbrol Glue, a liquid poly. It smells really nice, you know. It's quite tempting to just hang over this stuff all day long, which you don't want to do, because I'm quite sure that it's hazardous. But the stuff that the glue that I found works best is this green Zap Gap. It also has a bit of a filling feature to it, so if you really have a gap that you need to fill up at the same time as gluing two surfaces to each other, this stuff works fine for me, at least. You might be using something else. If you do, and if you think that I'm going completely the wrong way with this, mind you, I'm a new beginner. Leave me a comment in the box below. You might be able to help me out.